stuff this week in MLS as the All-Star game is officially underway with Fulham in the white and black. MLS All-Stars are in blue, and that ball goes out of play immediately. Chris Albright will have a throw-in for the All-Stars.
It'll be interesting to see the first couple of minutes to see how both teams react to what kind of game. It'll pretty much dictate, JP, what kind of game this will be. It's just the first couple of tackles, the first couple of touches. Very curious from my point of view.
Ricky Haydick into the middle. Switched over by Craig Vanny, who's wearing the captain's armband today for the MLS All-Stars. Brian McBride wearing it for Fulham. Headed away by Fulham. Raymond was looking for it, so is Klaus Jensen. Instead, it's cleared by the MLS All-Stars. That's Dempsey after it, tackled away by Volz. He's an under-21 German international. It's played back to Matt Reese. Clears.
Watch for Volz. Volz, as a German international, likes to get forward. Watching him in practice yesterday, he's got a tremendous shot. He will look for long-range shots, for sure.
Where these teams are conditioning-wise, MLS at the halfway point of their season. Fulham's in preseason getting ready for the regular season.
And it's a difficult task, but they look okay right now.
It's Boa Morte with great speed. Maybe too much for his own good there. He lost it. Newcastle just made a bid for him, but Fulham rejected it. They said not enough money. That's the manager of Fulham, Chris Coleman. Very good player in his own day, had to retire prematurely due to injury suffered in a car accident. Youngest coach or manager in the history of Fulham.
He's a big guy, too. I mean, I don't think television does him justice. About 6'4". Was a great defender.
Enjoying his time so far in Columbus. Likes the facilities and has enjoyed the competition. They played against the Columbus Crew, lost to them in midweek. Dempsey on the go. Right side, Ronnie O'Brien, who plays for FC Dallas, having a great year. O'Brien with a left-footed cross, looking for Twellman, headed straight up. Twellman again is strong in the air. Now a deflection, played across and cleared. The flag is up by the referee's assistant on the near side. The play is continuing. That's Malbranck over there. And finally, the referee, Ricardo Valenzuela, acknowledges that flag from the corner.
A great little angle at this. You see what it looks like from behind the goal. Taylor Twellman getting up to win this. There's the offside call right there. With a little bit of skill from Clint Dempsey. Not a little bit. This kid is very talented. I'm not going to beat around the bush when it comes to him. I think when we watch him play right now, Clint Dempsey, there he is. That is probably right now, pound for pound, the best player in the league.
He is a rising star. We thank Sarah Mist and all of our Major League Soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's All-Star game without interruption. Big Zat Knight sends it long. He's all of 6'6". That one goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in of MLS All-Stars. That's Jimmy Conrad, who plays for Kansas City. Wide left to Haydick. He got a nice ovation. He's from Columbus, now anyway, playing for the Crew. Valakari plays it back to Matt Reese. Long ball for his New England teammate Taylor Twellman. That's deflected back. Raymond gave it away to O'Brien. Twellman broken up by Raymond, who plays it back to goalkeeper Mark Crossley.
You see, Twellman didn't want that one. He didn't want that ball from, I think it was O'Brien. It looked like he was, as a good forward would, hey, look, find Landon Donovan, get to his speed, I'll make the run. That's the way it should work with these two up front.
MLS All-Stars getting it back. Shari Joseph to Valakari. Those two will be having some big roles defensively today for the MLS All-Stars and can step forward when needed. That's O'Brien, who can play wide or central. Lead pass is cut off. Left side, Nicholas Jensen. He likes to go forward as well. He's a Danish international. He gave that ball away. Craig Vanny, FC Dallas player. Playing it left to Frankie Haydick. That's Dempsey going down. Free kick. MLS All-Stars to his New England teammate Joseph. Now to Landon Donovan. Albright pushing up. Right side to O'Brien. Shari Joseph out of St. John's University for Donovan. Good move on the turn. They don't close him. Headed away by Zat Knight. He'll win a lot of those balls in the air.
Especially that little pass. If you're not 6'6", maybe you don't get it.
But Dempsey lost it. MLS All-Stars recover. On their side of the halfway line, Vanny pushes it across to Conrad, a finalist last year, one of 3 for MLS Defender of the Year. That award was won last year by Robin Fraser. There's Reese to the right side for Albright. O'Brien looking. Twellman pushing it back to Albright. Into the middle, that's Valakari. One side, Hayden did his best to keep it in play, and he did, but possession is lost. Klaus Jensen, number 8, gets it over the right sideline. Fulham moving it forward, back for Jensen, who controls things in the middle, but it's cleared back.
Well, like I said a couple minutes ago, I was very curious to see how the first couple minutes went, and this is definitely a soccer game. Both teams trying to move the ball quickly, trying to get into spaces. I think right now the MLS All-Stars look a little bit quicker, a little sharper.
The look was from McBride long. Jensen got it back. Now with some help, it's played over. Nicholas Jensen, there's that left foot. He was looking for ball Morte, but it's too long. Let's check out our Panasonic game shots featuring a player that Kevin Ronaldo was talking about before, Clint Dempsey.
Well, Clint Dempsey is definitely a special player. I mean, the one thing you got to say is, I mean, you love to see a young guy come into this league, not only score the great goals, but have that personality. You know, and he's not afraid to be himself out there, has a lot of fun playing the game. And it's been a joy to watch him because he's getting better every week.
He was an 8th-round pick out of Furman. When you look at that New England Revolution roster, those guys have done a great job drafting players out of college, and they don't have first choices or second. So they've done well. Again, Dempsey, number 8. Makes you think about who the 7 players were that went before him. Malbranck. That one's deflected out, intended for Moritz Volz.
Another interesting point is, you know, McBride's wearing number 9 today. He wore number 8 all year with Fulham. So those of you watching this game, don't get confused. That is Brian McBride. He's changed numbers, which is probably a good idea when you're trying to sell shirts.
Yeah, and he is the acting captain today because it's his homecoming. The look was for Brian in the air, and he drew the foul. How about the mayor, Coleman? Mayor Coleman making it Brian McBride Day in the city of Columbus on Thursday. That's quite an honor.
Terrific honor. You know what, though? Brian McBride has done so much for this club. I mean, he was a Chicago native, and a lot of people thought that he would have played in Chicago, but Chicago wasn't around when this league started, so he went to Columbus, the closest place. And it's just, there isn't anybody that knows anything about soccer that doesn't know exactly who he is in this town.
When his contract ends, he may end up being back in Chicago. Rumors have him going to either Chicago or returning here to Columbus. Talking about Ronnie O'Brien moving over to the right. Matt Reese positioning that wall. They only had one practice together. This is the kind of stuff that they work on, defending set pieces and taking them.
Exactly, JP. This is something that you saw him in practice work on, make sure they didn't get scored on these kind of situations.
It was blocked, and then the second try by Raymond was wide. First shot taken was by Klaus Jensen.
That's a good point, though, JP. And in those kind of situations, in a game like this, Fulham's got to try and take advantage of those kind of situations. It's important for the All-Stars to be organized. Like we said before, they're all coming from different teams. The midfield looks okay with 2 guys from New England, 2 guys from Dallas. But in standard situations, marking up situations, you got to be careful with English teams. They're very good on corners.
Knight in the air, couldn't get to it. Here's Dempsey bringing it down. He was last year's Rookie of the Year in Major League Soccer. On the far side, he and Volz were tangling up, and it goes against Clint Dempsey. And Fulham will bring it out. They were 13th last year in the Premiership, 9th, the surprising 9th the year before. Volz bringing it down. You might see Volz next year at the World Cup. He's an under 21 for Germany and has hopes of making that squad. Ricardo Valenzuela calling that foul.
I'll tell you, I mean, that's 2 in a row. If you're wondering what kind of game this is going to be, you don't see tackles like that in an All-Star game. It's clear to me that a player like Clint Dempsey is trying to make a point here today.
They're normally high-scoring games. For me, the best All-Star game was a couple of years ago, the win over Chivas. Chivas from Mexico, not the Chivas USA squad, obviously. They came in this year, but that was the best game for me competition-wise. This game may be better.
A couple of terrific goals in that game. Carlos Ruiz scoring a great cross from Bocanegra, who's out there today. Well, I should also point out, has moved up in the number category. He was 34 all year, and now he's 16. I guess things are getting better for him as well, but he had a great assist in that game.
That's Volz up high with that challenge. Donovan getting it back. He looked for Haydock on the left, but it went out of play. Landon Donovan really the face of Major League Soccer, and according to what everybody reads, now the highest paid player in the league. Shari Joseph. Broken up by Jensen, but it goes right to Frankie Hayden. Chased by Malbranc, number 7. Bolts will step up. The look into the middle. Broken up there on that challenge. Here's O'Brien, leading Taylor Twellman on the right. Twellman now cuts inside. Lays it back. Valakari. Wide to his FC Dallas teammate O'Brien. The cross brought down. Dempsey looks. Shoots high off the left foot. Goal kick coming up.
Not the best decision there from Clint Dempsey. You can't see from this right now, but there are 3 people on that back post that were options. Trying to get in a position to get on that left foot. Not bad. Not bad, but still, you got to try and keep that on goal.
Clint Dempsey, you thought last year's season was good. How about this year? 6 goals and 8 assists. Tied for first in assists in Major League Soccer. And he's got 5 game-winning goals. 5 out of his 6 were game winners. That's an incredible stat. Crossley will clear. In the air, Joseph won that. But it comes all the way back. Played back by Nicholas Jensen to Crossley. Another one over the top. Conrad heads it back to Reese. Flag was up anyway. Fulham were offside.
But you'll see that a lot today, JP. And I said at the beginning of the game, a typical English side, that just simply means very direct. You know, look for Klaus Jensen, even though he is playing in that central midfield position. Get it, give it to other people, mainly the wide players. Volts will probably be someone making a lot of deliveries up front, but it's very direct. And you'll see it right now.
McBride, broken up by Joseph, picked up. Trying to play that one across, but it was broken up. Twellman, Dempsey, Hayden. He'll always jump into the play, whichever flank he's on. This is Hayden looking up. Hayden, right puts it into the box, clear it up straight by Knight. He won it the second time. Pushed up to Klaus Jensen and then back. Nicholas Jensen. No relation, we're told. Both are from Denmark. Nicholas Jensen played in that World Cup squad in 2002.
You see once again that direct style, trying to get Jensen, spring him. It's always an option when you're playing up front with Brian McBride. It's something I used to play with Brian. You got to let him have those kind of situations to go up, battle for the headers, get yourself open. Something that I think Conrad and Vanny are doing a pretty good job of dealing with right now, but it will be something that they continue to keep pestering them with that. The long passes will come. The flick headers from Brian and trying to get people open.
Conrad, Twellman, quick flick to Donovan. Landon on the turn. Leads it left. Hayden, he's had some room on that side. Frankie will hold. Double team. Malbranc coming in, forcing the play. It's going to be a throw-in for the MLS All-Stars. Scoreless here in the 14th minute from Columbus. Shari Joseph to Twellman. Intercepted. Boa Morte. He is from Portugal. He leaves it off to Klaus Jensen. Boa Morte wants it back, pointed in that direction. He's got it. Wide right, Malbranc. Numbers scored for Fulham, but that one was rejected and cleared away. That time Fulham looked threatening. Conrad came back to help out and defend. Across the way to Ronnie O'Brien. He came over from Ireland a couple seasons ago. He's made an impact. Intended for Donovan, too far. Crossley's coming out for it. Sends it far on the left foot for McBride, and he and Conrad mix it up. Free kick for Fulham.
Those two remember each other well.
Ryan McBride, second right now to my partner here, Eric Ronaldo. All-time goals for the USA national team. Landon Donovan is number 3. That's a hard foul. Manny knows it. Just getting up is Radzinski, 13. Radzinski was at the press luncheon yesterday. He looked at the trophy, and he said that would look good in Fulham's cabinet.
We're waiting a little bit here for Zat Knight to make his way forward. Interesting to see who takes him. It looks like it might be Shari Joseph.
Boa Morte steps over. Klaus Jensen crosses. It was intended for McBride. Here's Radzinski. The Canadian international have the shot blocked. It comes all the way back towards Volts. 16th minute scoreless. MLS All-Stars versus Fulham from the Premiership. On the right side, Malbranc. He had 6 goals with his club last year in league play. Throw in coming up from the far sideline. Settled by Malbranc. Pressured by Jari Joseph. It goes back to Zach Knight. Knight played for England against the USA. That was his first cap. A game played this summer in Chicago. McBride tried to cut it inside. Radzinski didn't read it. This is the 10th annual Major League Soccer All-Star Game. Sierra missed MLS All-Star Game alongside Eric Winalda, Randy Chastain, and Rob Stone. I'm JP Delacamera. Thanks for joining us today, spending your Saturday afternoon with us. Fulham FC in the white and black. MLS All-Stars are in blue. Not your typical All-Star game. Both teams here to win it. A lot of pride at stake. O'Brien on the right. Couple of cuts. And maybe one too many. Nicholas Jensen able to defend. O'Brien has another plan in mind. Klaus Jensen picks it up. This time out wide. Former Charlton athletic midfielder lost it there to Conrad.
Going back to that pass from Greg Vanny, that's something that the MLS All-Stars need to take advantage of today. Exposing an English team, and when they put so many numbers around the ball, having that ability to hit a 60-yard pass to O'Brien. O'Brien could have done better to get that cross off, because that's how you're going to beat him. And this too. Quick soccer is how you beat him.
Albright, right side, and the offside flag goes up. We thank Adidas for bringing you ESPN side-by-side, so you don't miss a moment of action. ABC side-by-side presented by Adidas. It is scoreless here. 18th minute. Fulham with the ball, taking on the MLS All-Stars. Intended for Raymond, who was a youth player, came up from their reserve squad a year ago. Made an impression. Thursday night, 9 Eastern, X Games kicked off on ESPN, and live coverage moves to ABC Sports for the surfing, motocross, and bike stunt competitions. X Games 11 Thursday, ESPN next Saturday, and Sunday 3 Eastern on ABC. MLS All-Stars on the ball. Hayden, Donovan. Landon chasing it down. It goes all the way back to Crossley. Extremely hot day in Columbus. You wonder how the heat will affect both of these teams. Some of these guys played in games in midweek for the MLS All-Stars. And Fulham is not used to this kind of weather, certainly, in England. Albright and McBride, and Albright gets the worst.
You see him, Brian McBride's going in for all of these. And, you know, it surprises me a little bit getting caught off guard there, but Albright just didn't jump. The fact that he didn't jump, it looks like a low bridge. They're going to call it as a low bridge. This is what that's called when a player gets stuck underneath someone like that. But nothing new out of Brian McBride. You know, he said a million times he's that good in the air, but it's because he's his willingness to get in. He'll go up for everything.
Hayden from Balakari. Left side, Clint Dempsey, who can play just about anywhere in the field. Over the top, Dempsey got behind Bolts. It's a good ball, too. Bolts defending, Dempsey going to the middle. Lays it off. O'Brien had to step back for it, and then gave it away. He thought it was someone in blue, and it was not. Instead, it's Paul Marte. Albright defended and wouldn't give him the sideline. Here in the 20th minute. McBride holds at the halfway line. Gave it away. It was Twellman sending it back to Donovan. Landon right back to Taylor Twellman. And that's broken up. I heard Donovan tell Brandy Chastain that Twellman was a guy he was looking forward to playing alongside today.
So am I. I think that as you go through the last couple of years, nobody has been more consistent than Taylor Twellman. Of course, he had a couple of injuries that prevented him from having the kind of year that he would have had 2 years ago. But still, I think that he's just a tremendous goal scorer. I like the combination, though, JP. I like the fact that Landon is so fast, so quick, such a good passer. And Twellman is just sometimes flawless in front of the net. I mean, if you just keep putting him in goal-scoring positions, which Landon can, you're going to score goals. And that's why I want to see them together on the national team eventually.
JP and Eric, let me just tell you, we know it was going to be a hard-fought game, but as you've seen with Chris Albright and Brian McBride and then Bo Marte kind of getting shoved out of bounds here, this game is for real. And from field level, it's very fast and very physical.
We saw Brandy almost meeting Bo Marte as well because his run could have taken her out there on the sideline. But this is no surprise, is it, Eric? That the game would be physical even this early?
Well, the dynamics of this game are pretty simple. I mean, these guys are fighting, as Carlos Bocanegra said, they're being for their jobs. They want to prove to their coach that they want to be in the starting lineup when the season starts, because it means a lot of money to them. As far as the MLS All-Stars are concerned, we're playing this game in America, by the way, and these are our best players. We want to win.
And let's add something else to the equation. Fulham already has 2 American players and have been looking for others. They talked to McBride and Bocanegra about it. Their manager, Chris Coleman, has said that. Their budget is not as high. Don't be surprised if he's doing a little scouting here as well in terms of who might impress him. And that is Chris Coleman. Very likable guy. He talked with us yesterday.
He had some funny stories. He didn't want to admit that Colin Clark had ever played against him or ever scored a goal against him. He was a big defender, and Colin Clark was obviously a forward. I think they just had a convenient case of amnesia, both of them.
Here is Donovan trying to break the scoreless one. Taylor Twellman! There's the goal for the MLS All-Stars!
Are we just talking about that? There's the passing ability and there's the creativity in front of the net. Landon Donovan is so good with these quick passes and the timing, but this is just a terrific goal by Taylor Twellman. The element of surprise is why he scored. It's not how it gets in there, people. It just matters that it goes in. As a goalkeeper, you're thinking to yourself, oh, he's not going to shoot. He doesn't have it under control. That's what a good goal scorer does, is he scores when you don't expect it. Terrific goal for the MLS All-Stars.
And Taylor Twellman had an injury earlier this season. He told me last night he's still not 100% fit. But let me tell you, Taylor Twellman has already scored 9 goals this year, and he's missed 4 games due to injury. Last year, injury problems, 9 goals the entire season. When he's healthy, he will score goals.
Yeah, he's a lot better than people give him credit. I mean, not anybody can score the goal he just scored.
So, MLS All-Stars strike first. Bo Morte's cross is cleared away. On the run, Ronnie O'Brien now pops up on that left side. He's been playing on the right wing for most of this first half. Twellman the goal, Donovan the assist in the 23rd minute. Donovan continues to pile up All-Star points. He is tied with Brian McBride for the most goals scored in All-Star history with 5. He had 4 in one game. There's Donovan checking off Knight. Here he goes toward goal. Backhills it for Twellman. Twellman looks for help. Center for Dempsey, that's blocked. Albright stepping in out of Joseph.
I'll tell you, you know what, the word that Landon said in the opening, he says it's always fun to play with Taylor. Man, they're fun to watch right now. They both of them just seemingly know exactly where the other was going to be.
How do you get that chemistry, though, Eric? How do you get that so quickly?
I think Landon's easy to play with. I really do. As a forward, he's so creative that you get to play your game and just kind of read off of him. A good forward is just going to try and be simple as he can, get the ball to Landon's feet, get open. And Landon's so creative, the wrong-footed guy, or he'll see the little channels. That most forwards, you don't give up your run on Landon Donovan because you can run into that spot because he's talented enough to get it there. And you'll see that so often with people that play with Landon up front. But like I said before, I just think this is a pretty good tandem, Landon Donovan and Taylor Twellman. They'll probably get another goal today.
Donovan will take this free kick. A lot of players pushing up to be potential targets here, including Shari Joseph and Chris Albright, both very good in the air. Dempsey another one. And Twellman too. Sent in low, and that's cleared by Boa Morte. McBride, he'll win some defensive headers too, but he gave it up to Balakari, and that goes on. We thank Sierra Mist for bringing you side by side, so you don't miss a moment of action.
Oh, hey, wow. Could I get a sip of that?
Sure.
Oh, could I actually go first?
Excuse me?
No, just because I have kind of a germ thing.
What?
Yeah, and the truth is, I'm such a germaphobe. I'm actually less germy than, say, me, for example.
Sweet. That hits the spot, huh? Good game, you guys.
Welcome to my world.
ABC side by side presented by Sierra Mist. 1-0. MLS All-Stars leading thanks to Taylor Twellman's goal off a feed from Landon Donovan. Twellman broken up by Knights.
Yeah, you can see Knights had about enough of that. The little quick passes, they've been made foolish a couple of times. I think there's a little something behind that tackle on Twellman from Knight.
Hayden plays it up into the middle. Balakari keeps it rolling for Dempsey. And Dempsey on the turn. Donovan. Balakari to Joseph. Shari plays it wide. This is Albright, a converted forward. Trying to be a part of the USA's World Cup squad next year. Chris Albright had a tough injury earlier this year that took him out of the equation for Gold Cup. Downstairs to Brandy Chastain.
Well, guys, I'm sitting here behind the bench of Fulham, and I'm listening to Chris Coleman talk to his back four. Being a defender himself, I'm sure he's wishing that they were a little bit more organized. Considering they're not just playing 1v1 matchups, they have to really work together. And that's, right now, I think, a tough thing for them, as you can see.
They're back on their heels going against Twellman, and he just missed the far post.
Again, there's the tandem. Yeah, when Landon Donovan picked this ball up almost about midfield, and he got running at this defense, you see how they kind of have to close on him. Like, that opens up those spaces. And you talk about a good forward, just finding those little spots to get open. The preparation wasn't there in the first touch. The finish wasn't all the way there, but I really like the way these two play together. I mean, at some point, you got to think they'll end up on the national team together.
August 8th, Monday Night Football is back. Join Al Michaels and John Madden in Canton, Ohio for the Hall of Fame game. Rookie head coach Nick Saban leads the Dolphins for the first time against Lovie Smith and the Bears. It's a Monday Night Football preseason special, August 8th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports. Will Ricky Williams be playing for Miami then? That's the big story besides the new coach and Nick Saban. Mark Crossley's the player down. And we'll see what takes place here. The training staff is out there. The other goalkeeper they have is Yaroslav Drobny. Crossley appeared to be struggling a bit yesterday in training with a bit of a knock, so we're not sure if that is related or not, but Drobny's already getting ready on the sideline. Taylor Twellman with a game's only goal. Drobny looks like he's coming in. Brandy, you have an update?
Yes, JP, remember yesterday after practice, Crossley was sitting on the bench with an ice pack. I did overhear him say to Coach Coleman, yeah, it's okay, just needs a little bit of ice after practice. And I don't think, in turn, when he was saying that he really believed what he was saying to the coach.
Well, he's going to stay in. Drobny got a signal. I mean, he was getting ready quickly. He's still stretching, so we may see him come in at some point. Right now, from all indications, Crossley is the backup goalkeeper. This guy, Drobny, is supposed to be the #1 guy replacing Edwin van der Sar, who was transferred to Manchester United, where his competition in goal is Tim Howard, former Metro Stars goalkeeper. If you'd like to vote for today's Honda MVP, you can log on now to MLSnet.com or ESPN.com. The online vote from our television audience accounts for 50% of the MVP ballot. So vote along. during the course of the day.
I get the other 50%, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Oh, but just to touch on Mark Crossley's injury here. Hey, if you're Mark Crossley right now, you don't want to go down with an injury. You want to play well in this game. Like we said before, yeah, he can't even step on that foot, and that's the reason why he was going to try and test it. He doesn't want to come out of this game, but it's obviously if he's
no choice.
If he's struggling to hit a goal kick, wise thing to bring yourself out. But he's frustrated because he's trying to prove to his coach right now that he wants to be a starter. You can see in his face, he's disappointed.
And he gets a nice hand from the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Fulham.
So the change is going to be made. We thank Sierra Mist for bringing you ABC side by side so you don't miss a moment of action.
And I thought about it. Oh, after you.
Nah, you have it.
Rock, paper, scissors?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Whoa.
Water makes the scissors rusty, and then they crumble and they break, and then paper scoops it up.
What?
This summer, let your taste decide. The Sierra Mist Lemon Lime Challenge.
All right.
We're back. Let's go downstairs to Brandy Chastain for an update on the goalkeeping change. Brandy, what do you have?
JP and Eric, I just went over to the goalkeeper coach. He said both goalkeepers actually are nursing knee injuries. Drobny maybe not even a better substitute for him. He said he even almost had to suit up today because both of them are definitely struggling, and that's why he had to come out.
I was going to say, Brandy, they don't have a number 3 goalkeeper listed, so it's going to be interesting. But Drobny's the guy that is in there now. He played against the Columbus Crew on Wednesday in that 2-1 loss. Brandy, do you have anything specific about the injury?
The goalkeeper coach did say that Crossley does have a knee contusion, a bruise above his left knee, and so he has no power which to push off of, and that is the reason why he is out of the game now.
Tough break for Crossley as Donovan plays it over to Joseph. Look at this, but the offside flag pops up on Taylor Twellman, looking for that seam and his second goal.
You know what I like about this the most is as that pass came in, you could see Landon get in behind it. The pace of the pass wasn't all there. I don't think Taylor, even if he was in an onside position, would have been able to catch up with it, get the shot off himself, and Landon was just exploding out of the midfield. That's what he's so good at. I mean, you watch this game today, he'll get the ball in deep situations and just make his way maybe 30, 40, sometimes 50-yard runs that you just can't stay with him. You can't track with him. You force your midfielders to pass him on to other midfielders, to pass him on to those defenders, and sometimes he's so quick that the information isn't good enough and he gets open.
The scary part about Donovan, he's only 23 years old. So he still has a way to go as he gets more and more experience, both at the club level and international level, where he's already a star. Foul is called.
Yeah, the debate has always been, is he a forward, is he a midfielder, is it forward, so many people want to talk about that. As long as he is willing and capable of having such an engine to be able to do the defensive work and still have enough energy to go forward, he's a midfielder. I mean, I personally, I like to see him as close to the goal as possible, but if he can do it, he's such an asset to not just this game, but to his club and to his country.
Sent by Klaus Jensen. MLS All-Stars leading 1-0. This is Boa Morte. Did he get the penalty kick? Yes, he does. On the contact from Albright, this will only be the 3rd penalty kick in MLS All-Star history. One make by Joe Max Moore, one miss by Luis Hernandez on a Tim Howard save. So, a chance to tie things up.
You see, as he gets in behind, Albright's kind of put in a spot where he's on the wrong side of him. Defensively, you don't want to be on that side of chasing a guy into the box because it's basically the blind side. Great pace on the pass. Not really too much of a foul. The hands go up. He tried to sell it, but they're going to call that.
The contact is low, though, right? It's not shoulder to shoulder seemed okay, but there seemed to be some contact lower. I think that's why he called it.
Looks like Boa Morte's going to ham this up a little bit, or either that or he does have something wrong with that right groin, but you hate to see that. I mean, it's such a, he just didn't see the foul coming. Albright's just trying to make a case for himself for a right back, being the World Cup team. That's not the kind of situation you want to get caught in.
Taylor Twellman responsible for the game's only goal. The MLS All-Stars lead it 1-0.
I love to see him. Watch it on Dartfish slow motion here. Watch this little in the corner. This is just, to me, you can see that ball's bouncing as it goes into the goal. It was not the, the power of that shot. It was just the element of surprise.
Dartfish slow motion. Meanwhile, Klaus Jensen has a chance to tie this game.
If he hits this to Matt Reese's right, I think Matt will save it.
Well, he beats him 1-1. Jensen with a soft kind of a shot. Tied at 1. No power.
Smart penalty kick, actually, just to wait till the last second. But here's how we got to this. Chris Albright sneaking on that backside. Both hands went up, but they're going to call a foul on that every time. See the eyes. He knows where he's going. Just wait till that last second. Get him going the wrong way. Matt Reese is very strong to his right. That's why I said that. I think he's when people don't know Matt Reese, which might have been the case with Klaus Jensen. You try and pull it on. You pull it, over the top of your body. I mean, you hit the cross to Matt Reese's right. He'll probably save it.
So it's 1-1. Albright coming back the other way, taken down. The foul was called. 37th minute, a 1-1 game. MLS All-Stars seem to have the better of the play, up 1-0, but that goal obviously changes things for Jensen.
Well, that's direct play. I think that's when you talk about a typical or English side. I mean, they expose those channels so quickly. They try to play so fast, they catch you off guard.
Donovan's cross caught by Drobny. (1-1) 37th minute. MLS All-Stars versus Fulham of the English Premiership. Back over the halfway line. Fulham attacks. Boa Morte. Couldn't get to that one. It goes out of play. A throw-in coming up for the MLS All-Stars. Chris Albright will take it. He started out as a forward with DC United. Now as a right back. And as we mentioned before, a contender for the next World Cup next June for the USA. They'll be going to Germany once they officially qualify. Here's a lead pass to Dempsey. Dempsey coming in. Clint Dempsey just misses.
Now once again, Landon Donovan almost at the midfield. It's the timing of the run and it's the pass. Perfect in stride. Did just about everything right. That was very, very close. You see how that ball's bouncing? He didn't hit that as clean as he wanted to. Definitely going for that far post. His left foot isn't the stronger of the two. Usually in most players, the case would be it's not the stronger, but it's usually more accurate.
But again,
ball just jumped up on him just a little bit. Yeah, Landon once again.
All starts with Landon. Got a strong game thus far. 39th minute. One apiece. In his 10th annual MLS All-Star game from Columbus, Ohio. That was harsh. From Bolts, he may get a card. Yes, he will.
Well, that's what happens when you get outrun. Bolts got outrun on that last play. And he realized, okay, Clint Dempsey is faster than me. And that's a little bit of a pride issue. Next time he got the ball, introduce him to the grass. That's pretty much the English way.
That's something else you don't see very often. Yellow cards in all-star games, but this one is a bit different.
Or I should say the German way. This is Volts, he's German.
That's cleared by Raymond. Malbron. Conrad in some trouble. We're now in the 40th minute, which is the Radio Shack Magic Minute. Today's contestant, Jeff from Fort Lee, New Jersey, had chosen Papa Bouba Diop to score a goal, but he's not in the game. If any other player does score the Magic Minute, our contestant, though, will win $1,000. Papa Diop on the roster, but is injured and not available for selection today. Remember him from the last World Cup. He scored the opening goal when Senegal stunned France. What a way to start that World Cup. Here's Hayden. Swellman. Back for Hayden, another guy who hopes to play in the next World Cup for the USA. He's played in a couple previous. Here's Conrad to Albright. Donovan in this 1-1 match, 40th minute. Leads it for Albright, who has some pretty good legs there, but he couldn't catch up to that one. A bit too far for him.
Fans, stay tuned.
This has been the Radio Shack Magic Minute. As a consolation prize, Jeff from Fort Lee, New Jersey will receive a Radio Shack MLS fan pack. For your chance to win next week, log on to MLSnet.com and click on the links to access the online entry form for the Radio Shack Magic Minute sweepstakes. 1-1 if you're just joining us. Taylor Twellman for the MLS All-Stars. Klaus Jensen on the penalty kick in the 36th minute for Fulham. Nicholas Jensen will play it back to Carlos Bocanegra. Long ball cleared away by Conrad. Joseph. And Valakari on that side. It was cleared out by Zesh Raymond. Nice shot from up above of Columbus Crew Soccer Stadium. First soccer-specific stadium created in this country. Many more have followed, including the Home Depot Center. Next week, Dallas will open up theirs. Pizza Hut Park. Next year, Chicago gets their stadium. Knocked down by Bocanegra. Bocanegra goes out of play. One of America's most recognizable images, the blimp, Spirit of Goodyear, is floating overhead, providing us with these aerial views. The Goodyear blimps have been a familiar sight in the American sky for nearly 80 years and at many great sporting events, including this one. Taylor Twellman cutting it back to Showery Joseph up the middle. Dempsey, Donovan, and making the ball move quickly. That time it's blocked.
Well, smart the way they're playing. They're all recognizing that the last guy that should make that last pass is Landon Donovan. A lot of movement around him. Twellman, O'Brien, even Dempsey at times. Playing smart right now. It doesn't look like a team that's playing, as a group together for the first time.
Dempsey will hold. Out of Conrad. Bocanegra to Nicholas Jensen. Boa Morte. He wanted McBride. Conrad brings it down. Pressured by Boa Morte. Joseph from Vanny. Left side, Hayden. 43rd minute. A 1-1 game. MLS All-Stars seemingly have had the better of play, but that penalty kick goal by Klaus Jensen changed things dramatically. Conrad stepping up. Chased by Radzinski. Intercepted. Malbranc started on the right wing. He's now on the left side, at least at the moment. Cutting in towards the middle. Joseph stops him. O'Brien wanted Donovan. That was too quick. Raymond turned it over to Radzinski. He cuts inside. Nice ball squared. Klaus Jensen fires it, but it's right at Matt Reese. But that was well done. Well played all around by Fulham.
Well, the pressure in midfield, and you're seeing it right now. That's pretty much what's causing all the turnovers. I don't think Carlos Bocanegra has ever played against Showery Joseph, but it's a nice introduction.
Bocanegra wearing number 16 on defense. Last year a starter, then lost his spot. Hoping to reclaim that, and also hoping to be a starter at the next World Cup, which is less than a year away in Germany.
And I think he will be. I think Carlos Bocanegra has proven not only is he a great player that's versatile enough to play in the middle as a left back, but still on free kicks, set pieces, he's been phenomenal for the U.S. coming forward, getting on into headers.
Offside is going to be called on the MLS Stars.
I will say this, he's a little meaner. I think in his time over in Fulham, I think some of us will remember at a brutal red card. I think it was his 3rd or 4th week with the English side, and you got a lot of criticism for it. He said, "Hey, you know what? I gotta let these people know what I'm all about. I'm not going to be pushed around." And I would actually applaud that. I don't applaud a bad red card, but still, I think he's doing a great job in England.
Played out wide, and then the attempted cross by Haydick is blocked. Haydick will hold.
He's trying to get on his right foot. He does not want to go to his left.
Back to Showery Joseph. Donovan, that's a good pass. Landon trying to cross it over towards Albright. Back up by Radzinski. McBride lays it off to the onrushing Bolts. Klaus Jensen. That's going to do it. No stoppage time here. So the first half has come to a close, and it's been a pretty good first half competitive-wise for these two sides.
Definitely. I think the MLS All-Stars are showing that, yeah, they are for real. A little mistake by Chris Albright. It's something that might happen in a game like this, getting caught out of position a little bit. But, hey, I'm very impressed. I think for the first time you throw the All-Stars out there, they don't look like a team that's playing together for the first time. And obviously Landon Donovan is having a good half. So
Taylor Twellman has scored, so has Klaus Jensen. It is 1-1 after 45 minutes of play in the 10th annual MLS All-Star Game. And we are tied. Score from Klaus Jensen. We're getting ready to start the second half of play. And as we do, I see no subs out there, but Ivan Guerrero is up and stretching as if he's ready to come on. Guerrero plays for the Chicago Fire. So apparently they're going to make that change when they can. He's up and ready. Second half underway. Taylor Twellman and Klaus Jensen are the goal scorers. Played along the other way, and Bocanegra breaks that up.
Substitution comes in the 46th minute.
For Morte, couldn't get to it. It goes out. Now they're going to make the change. Ivan Guerrero had a very strong Gold Cup playing for Honduras. Scored a goal against the USA in the semifinal. Started all 5 of their games, and he's going to come on for Chris Albright.
Now,
Eric, what does this do?
Well, I mean, two things are happening right here. You might be asking yourself at home, why would you make a change 39 seconds into the half? This is to give Guerrero an opportunity for people to appreciate Chris Albright coming off the field and being an all-star, and appreciate Guerrero going in. But that change was obviously not about that first 39 seconds. Albright made a mistake. It's been he was getting a little bit tired. I think if you really want to look at the situation that he had with Will Morte, getting in behind him a couple times. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how this changes the dynamics of that back four.
One other thing that will change, Frankie Hayden will now move over and play the right back spot that Albright was at. Guerrero will be in the left back spot. As we thank Sierra Vista and all of our Major League Soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you today's All-Star Game without interruption. Raymond plays it back to Zat Knight. Across the way it goes. Nicholas Jensen back to Carlos Bocanegra. And back to the goalkeeper, Drobny. Rose plays it back. Drobny played the last 3 years in Greece. This is Valakari. Turning is O'Brien. Hayden, right side. Donovan leads Twellman. And the big guy, Zat Knight, all 6'6" of them cut him off. But again, it was Donovan initiating the play.
Yeah, both of them just picking up where they left off. Again, like I said, we're talking about Landon Donovan. He's such an inventive player. I mean, he'll get the ball, make something out of nothing. But Twellman is just constantly giving him options.
Kraft Foods. Radio Shack. Sierra Mist Products.
Raymond in the middle, a 1-1 game.
Adidas.
If this game does end up tied, no overtime, it will end as a draw. Inside Redzinski. Polomonte. Defended well and broken up there by Jimmy Conrad. A cutting ball for Twellman. Joined on the run by Donovan. Several players forward now for the MLS All-Stars. Donovan, well-timed cross, was just behind Taylor Twellman. But how he even saw him there. Here's Conrad.
I think it's pretty clear they're looking for each other.
Played across. Saw them talking to each other, even walking in the field again and pointing at the field. If you read the body language, they were talking about things that were happening maybe in the first half or that could happen here in the second, but getting the timing and the chemistry right.
Well, they're two very different players. But, like we said before, what Taylor will do is he's so smart. He'll come back into the midfield, get the ball, give it to Landon, and get himself open.
We had Landon Donovan wired in the first half of play. Let's have a listen. Sorry for the technical issue as that ball goes out of play. Had we heard that, though, what we would have heard is Landon Donovan becoming more of a leader, Eric. Club team or national team, same thing.
Well, I think that's, you know, he's kind of taken that on his shoulders by that just the decision that he was not going to stay in Germany. He was going to come back to Major League Soccer. This is where he wants to be, helping the national team. I think a lot of people can have a lot of respect for the fact that he's taken on that responsibility on and off the field.
He's happy. You can see it in his play, and you can see him in his demeanor off the field. Long ball, Drobny's getting caught. Couldn't use his hands there, obviously. Did okay with that in the end. Brought back down. Vanny. Misplay. McBride. Radzinski gets behind everybody. Radzinski shot to the near post, and Reese stopped it. I thought it was going to be a corner kick. The referee's assistant is pointing to a goal kick, so maybe Reese did not get to it.
Well, we've just seen the first signs of two people that never played together, Guerrero and Vanny. A little bit of a mix-up there. I think that they just didn't understand where one or the other one was going. But once he got in, you're not going to beat Matt Reese in their post like that. You're going to have to hit a far post.
Reese is having a sensational year with New England. Lowest goals against average in MLS. Haydock to Dempsey.
You see that first touch? That first touch took him into space. So smart.
The cross from O'Brien. Headed out. This will be the game's first corner kick.
You see him getting in with the late tackle. Jimmy Conrad's willingness to slide tackle there pretty much prevented, cut off that far post, so he had to go near. Looking at it for the second time.
51st minute. Matt Reese in goal on one end. Yaroslav Drobny in the other. Here's Donovan with plenty of targets to choose from here, including Shaori Joseph, who is up.
And they brought everybody back. They do not want to get scored on.
Deflected over to Klaus Jensen. He brought it down off the chest. Deflected out of play. Off Guerrero. Let's have another listen to Landon Donovan, wired from the first half.
On the first one, he's in the corner, you know? I know you're trying to get it.
Sorry about that. As the ball is back at the halfway line. Here's Radzinski trying to cut inside and then outside of Haydock. Back to the middle. Tackle away. Haydock did a great job of staying with him. As Radzinski trying to twist him around.
They'll get a chance to come back the other way now.
Joseph to Donovan. And Drobny saw that one well. Great spot for the goalkeeper to be in. Otherwise, if Donovan gets a touch, it's probably a 2-1 lead. There's Zat Knight looking up, seeing a few chances though early here in the second half of play. 53rd minute. Dempsey to the middle. Shaori Joseph. Marty O'Brien to Valakari. Bryan drives it. Guerrero has the good left foot, cuts it inside. He wanted Donovan. It was well read by Zesh Raymond and cleared out. Throw in. Ronnie O'Brien. Shaori Joseph. Dempsey blocked there by Jensen. And Nicholas Jensen will take it over. Tries to find Boa Morte. And the ball is out of play. I know it's early, Eric, but what are you seeing here at the start of the second half?
Well, I think that if you watch both teams right now, not much change. I think the only thing that you will see is a little bit of miscommunication with Vanny. Vanny's given the ball away a couple times. I think that little change of putting Guerrero in there has kind of caught him off guard a little bit, and that is a big switch for him. To put the switcher, you just played a whole half with Haydock to your left, and now he switched complete sides on you. So they got to figure it out defensively, but more of the same from the MLS Stars. They're doing all right.
Guerrero trying to get through. Place it over to O'Brien. What a shot and what a great save that was by Drobny. Corner kick for the MLS All-Stars as O'Brien nearly beat the Fulham keeper.
And that's the first real test we've seen. Once he gets cut inside, great little pass, good first touch. Doesn't really get a chance to get his head up and really get a good look at that corner, but he knew where he was. Great shot.
Donovan off that corner. Cleared away and taken down by Malbranc. We have Randy Chastain standing by in the Radio Shack coach's corner with the head coach of the MLS All-Stars, Colin Clark. Brandon.
Coach, this is not like a regular season game, so what do you tell these guys at halftime?
To continue to do the things that we're doing. They've been very, very well. Created chances and probably should have been ahead.
All right.
They come out with a great attitude. Just tell them to keep it going and enjoy the game.
And as for your picks for this game, how are they doing so far?
Everybody's doing great. I've got no complaints about anybody. And, I just think it was a boxing match. It'd probably be stopped by now. But, we just got to be careful. If we can continue to do the good things we're doing, we'll win the game.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
The toughest part of his job today, Eric, is that he had to go with 8 starters that were voted on by all the groups that voted, and he had only 3 changes that he could make. So even if he thought tactically there was a better way to play this game, he could not do that. And a great player like Carlos Ruiz, absent because of personal reasons, that hamstrung him a bit too.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think that the guys have done great. Like you said, he might have been a little bit hesitant coming into the game, but he says no complaints. He has a great roster. Let's be fair to that. I think everybody on the bench is still good enough to be a starter. But I don't think he should be concerned at all. I think the MLS All-Stars are playing great.
I asked him if it was extra special today because he did play in the Premiership and going up against the Premiership side, and he said that it was. Here's Jensen. Toe poked over by Malbranc. Radzinski's cross. Radzinski's becoming more of a factor, though, here in this second half of play in the early going. Dempsey. A cutting ball. Donovan, what a great one-time ball to Guerrero on the left. Ivan Guerrero.
Open, far post.
Goes there for 12, and Dempsey fires. Dempsey off the post and out. Oh, they're going to call it a goal. Inside of the post and out. On MLS.
Now, just as Guerrero got that ball, it pretty much came from the quick pass from Landon Donovan, got him in this position. So he got too many people sitting around that back post. That's just a terrific finish. A little bit of a touch there by Ronnie O'Brien to get that in the corner. I think that is why we saw the defender's hand go up, maybe calling for an offside.
That was a great look, though. There you can see. Watching it live from our angle, looked like inside of the post and out. But that's a goal. Entire ball across the line. And for the second time today, the MLS All-Stars have the lead. Clint Dempsey, we told you about his game winners in MLS this year. If this result stands, he'll have another big one in his young career. But there's a long way to go. Romney will hold. Game has opened up a bit, though, more here in the second half. We've seen opportunities for both sides. Less fouling, less physical play. But that whole sequence started again. Got to go back to Donovan with that quick one-time ball to Guerrero that sent him flying on the wing.
Well, I think that they'll be more of the same. I think that they're starting to connect, finding each other, getting the ball wide, and getting themselves in front of the goal, like right now.
Good run. Hayden from Twellman. A cutting ball back. Blocked. That night just reached out and got it. And now he goes forward. McBride leads it. Jensen, 4 on the attack. That ball was too far inside of Radzinski. He was wide and had his man Vanny beaten. Malbranc, back heel, but Volts wasn't there. Here's Jensen. He has the lone Fulham goal that came on the penalty kick. Ronnie O'Brien. Ivan Guerrero back to the feet of Matt Reese. Former Galaxy goalkeeper. Wide right to Hayden. Shalry Joseph. Donovan. See the respect that he draws. There were 3 players around Landon Donovan that time when he got the ball.
Yeah, they want to get close to him, but not too close because he's quick. He'll jump right past you.
Quick on those turns. We've seen that throughout his career. We've seen it today, too. Vanny with a good left foot. Looking for Guerrero on the run. Guerrero's cross. Apparently he kept that in. Looking for Twellman. That was one blue jersey and a sea of white jerseys. All the way back on the right side, Valakari. Frankie Hayden. MLS All-Stars leading Fulham 2-1. Second half. That's Boa Morte. 60th minute. Malbranc toes it ahead. Radzinski. 6 league goals last year, 5 in cup play, including the FA Cup. A pass deflected, McBride let it go. Malbranc with Reese coming out after him. The net was empty. Malbranc looking up, saved by Reese. Tell you what, and Reese brought him down in the box. That would have been the second penalty kick of the day, no question about it. So MLS All-Stars did well with that in the end. Donovan. Taylor Twellman. You see the size difference there. Twellman's about 5'11".
But so strong. I mean, you see what he does is he just backs himself into him, and he gives him no opportunity to get a good look at the ball. Has to get the foul. It's very smart play from a forward.
You see some changes. Ryan McBride's going to come out of the game. He'll be replaced by Collins John. So Zat Knight will wear the captain's armband, and this ovation will be for Brian McBride. Clearly, Brian McBride was the most popular player to ever play for the Columbus Crew, and the fans respond rather well to him. And Bocanegra comes out too. But his applause got lost in the shuffle and would never be as big as Brian McBride's, not in Columbus anyway. In Chicago, maybe.
Maybe in Chicago, yeah. I was going to say.
Not here. Not here. We kind of knew those guys would come out, though, Eric. They've had some international duty. They're a bit tired, and the manager of the team, Chris Coleman, told us yesterday that they are not 100% fit, but they're getting there. Goes out of play, throwing from Malbranc. Coleman, Fulham's manager, told us yesterday that if McBride plays like he did at the end of last year, he will be a starter. He had a flurry of goals in the end of that campaign for Fulham. Brian McBride, welcome back. We hope we'll see you again in Major League Soccer, maybe in 2006. Into the middle. Played back now by the MLS All-Stars to Vanny. Dempsey. Push back. Vanny to Conrad. Conrad's one of those unsung guys. Finally got his due last year by being a nominee for Defender of the Year, but you don't always hear his name when they talk about the best defenders in the league. And you should. Here's Donovan. Dempsey looking for his teammate at first, Twellman, but instead he plays it to a cunning Donovan. He's looking for Dempsey over the bar. Great teamwork there.
That's more of the same. Atlanta just making those runs through the defense. And let's check this out with Dartfish slow motion. Does this ball change? That little touch right there, is that a deflection from O'Brien? Because O'Brien's looking like he thinks he scored that goal. And nobody knows who to run to. So let's give it to both of them.
Well, they may change it then. Right
That's
now,
cool how that does. The slow motion kind of gives us an idea. You can see that the ball does actually change, whether that's a bounce or whether it actually hits O'Brien. It happens so fast, it's really hard to tell. Thank Dartfish slow motion. Help us out there.
Yeah. In the meantime, Christian Gomez is up as the next MLS sub. We'll give you word if they change the scoring of that goal. For now, they haven't. Here's Guerrero. Dempsey. That's blocked and goes out of play. There's Christian Gomez. 8 goals this year. One of the best players in this league. He plays for DC United. And Landon Donovan is going to come out. I think we get a vote here as media members, Eric, but we're too busy up here. But Donovan would be my vote for the man of this match.
Well, unfortunately for Landon, this game isn't over, and there'll probably be a couple more goals scored.
Up to this point,
we'll try not to forget about him. Since I get 50% of the vote, no, I'm just kidding. if you're voting at home, I think he's got to be high on your list right now. But Gomez is Christian Gomez, very good player, and he'll play this position a lot differently than Landon Donovan does. But we'll see how he works out with Dempsey in front of him and Twellman.
Gomez, a number 10 type of player when he's on the DC squad. Wearing 15 today, with Donovan getting 10. Here's Dempsey holding a 2-1 lead for the MLS All-Stars. And that cross gets away. Still 2-1. MLS leading.
We are going to the blimp to figure this one out. Here's Ronnie O'Brien. 2 questions. Is he offside? No. Does he touch it? I would say yes.
That's his.
Let's give it to Ronnie O'Brien. Thank you from the blimp, I guess. The blimp, throw motion. We need a lot of help today, JP.
Yes. Well, on that look, it's clear to us anyway that it's Ronnie O'Brien's goal, but we'll still wait for them to make an official change. Here's Shari Joseph. Conrad switches towards Guerrero. Radzinski gamble missed, but it's still going to belong to Fulham. Here's the 5th minute. Zap Knight. Holding. Going long. No flag up. But that ball closer to Reese than it was to the striker.
When Matt Reese lives and loves those kind of situations. You've been paying attention in the league. Now, not to say it's a good thing, but there's a couple of guys who have made the mistake of running into him this year and have come out with concussions. Very good coming off his line, not afraid, very brave.
Held up on the left side. The look is for Guerrero. That ball's out and looked out. Sure it was. Let's go downstairs. Brandy Chastain has Landon Donovan and Chris Albright. Brandy.
Okay, guys, there's been debate going on upstairs with Eric and JP. Who does that goal actually belong to? Was it Ronnie? Was it deflected? Was it not?
What'd you say?
Ronnie. Clint's going to want it, but I think it's Ronnie's.
I think they're both going to want it. Especially if it's a game winner.
Now, you said something about the composure of this goalkeeper in here. What do you think about this Fulham side today?
They're pretty good. I don't think they're used to playing in the heat, and clearly we are, but they're pretty good, and I hope we win still.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
He hopes they win, because if it stays like this, according to you, he'll still get the MVP.
Well, according to me, but that's not official. Not official.
I'll tell you, if anybody had the best angle, it would have been from the right back position. Obviously, Chris wasn't on the field, but I think the talk on the bench is that it's probably Ronnie's goal.
Reminder, the World Series of Football Tour continues tomorrow. AC Milan taking on Chelsea at Giant Stadium as part of an exciting summer of soccer. We saw visits from AC Milan, Chelsea, Real Madrid, and now Fulham. So it's been quite the summer for Major League Soccer. Attendance today, a sellout, 23,309. It's always great, Eric, when you can bring over international teams.
It's a great experience for the players, I think, to get a look at a different style of play. And it kind of throws, when you're playing in league, and you're about this time in the season, you've played everybody. And it's such an advantage to them to get a different look. To play against, especially the English side, it plays very quick.
This guy's going to get a nice ovation, too, coming up. Jeff Cunningham, who used to play for Columbus.
Coming into the game, number 9, Jeff Cunningham.
Cunningham acknowledged by the faithful in Columbus. Dempsey played well today. Meanwhile, Cunningham is leading the league in goals scored with 10, and he is tied career-wise with Brian McBride, all-time goal-scoring leader for the Columbus Crew with 62, and neither guy plays for Columbus anymore. Cunningham plays for the Colorado Rapids now. Here's Collins John feeding it long. Hayden back to help out. He's able to just clear it away. Played it safe.
Well, the other part of this, JP, this substitution with Cunningham coming on the field, Dempsey, as great of a player as he is, Cunningham is going to put on a show. I mean, he's got, let's see how many more minutes here, about 20. And he's electric. I mean, every time he gets the ball, it's going to be a dribbling fest. It's going to be fun to watch.
And you go back to Landon Donovan's comments about England's squad here, Fulham not being used to this heat. If you're not used to this heat and you're struggling, you don't want to see the fresh legs of Jeff Cunningham coming at you.
Well, they don't know enough about Jeff Cunningham, but they will in about 5 minutes.
All right, we're going to find out in just a minute or so who officially had that last goal. We're going to have Clint Dempsey coming along soon. Right now, it's Shari Joseph playing it right to Ronnie O'Brien to we think scored it. Played across, Twelman! And that's just wide. Now, Brandy Chastain, tell us, who did score that go-ahead goal?
Okay, Landon and Chris were debating on the sideline. We want to know who scored the goal. You, Ronnie.
I don't know, man. I just closed my eyes and shot the ball. I went in the back of the net, but I think Ronnie got a touch on it, so he celebrated, so I guess I'll give it to him.
So how is the feeling out there today, All-Star game against Fulham? You said you're a little bit tired, but overall, what's the emotion?
You know, it was just a good game to come out and, you know, gauge yourself personally against, you know, players who play in the English Premier League. Also, it's a good chance for us to play with guys we don't normally get a chance to play with, and, you know, build a little bit of team chemistry. But I don't know, just to come out and have fun, and I think that's what we did. And we're winning 2-1, so it can't be better than that.
All right, well, thank you very much, JP and Eric. I think the guys are having fun as well as this crowd.
Well, Brandy, I enjoyed that interview, but Eric, what does he mean he closed his eyes and shot?
Oh, he's kidding.
I hope he's joking.
He is kidding, but you know, it might get, not to correct it, but it might get better than this. I think MLS will probably take advantage of the last 20 minutes, get the ball to Cunningham, try and get the ball, you know, in situations where he can go at people, make them look a little silly. They are kind of getting a little weary of the heat. This game could get, you know, 3, maybe 4-1 for the MLS All-Stars if Fulham isn't careful.
Shalry Joseph playing it back. Vanny, long ball off the left foot, brought back down by Fulham. It's a 2-1 MLS lead. Up here we say Ronnie O'Brien should get credit for that go-ahead goal. Still waiting for an official change.
Well, Clint admitted it. I think he knows Ronnie got a piece of it. Still a great shot. I'm just curious to know if that shot would have gone into the goal with or without the touch.
Jim Gomez. Going back. Cut it to the middle for Cunningham. Gomez, by the way, we said was wearing 15. That's what he was supposed to be wearing, but he is 13 out there on the field. Just got that. Here's Hayden playing it back.
I don't think that's going on right now is Fulham is taking the route of keeping a line, meaning that they're going to play offside. They're going to try and pull an offside trap on several occasions coming up here. Not wise.
Look at Taylor Twelman using his strength, the advantage call. He went near post and went off the post.
See Pat Noonan, his teammate in New England, getting a laugh out of that. Taylor wanted this one. And what happens here? He just fought for the ball, gets it from Volts. Volts would have been smart to foul him there, but you see how his head's, if you look at him, the way he's coming in, his head's kind of facing the field. But believe me, his eyes are looking at that near post, trying to confuse everybody and get a shot at that near post. Not a bad effort.
Yeah, the tug of his shorts by Volts was the reason, as you look at Pat Noonan on the bench. That was the reason for the advantage call by the referee, Valenzuela. There was a tug there that wasn't punished. That one goes out of play. We thank Radio Shack for bringing you ABC side-by-side so you don't miss a moment of action.
Don't miss the bus. Load up now at your neighborhood Radio Shack during back-to-school days. We've got what's hot, like a credit card-sized T1 digital camera from Sony with dock, on sale for only $329.99. Buy today and get this Epson color printer free after $100 in mail-in rebates. Or purchase an iPod Mini or Shuffle and a select iPod accessory and instantly receive a $15 iTunes gift card free. Hit the playground running during back-to-school days at Radio Shack.
Ronnie O'Brien, they still haven't changed that goal, but we think it's his on the go-ahead goal as the ball is played for Jeff Cunningham. Cunningham cutting inside, and that one's blocked. It goes to Collins John. Deep pass up. Now played back towards Malbrandt. Cunningham bumped him. No foul was called. Here is Cunningham. Couple of nice moves. He's going to shoot. What a save again. That's the second big-time save for Drobny as Cunningham was going upstairs.
Well, obviously, what we said earlier, they do not know enough about Jeff Cunningham. It's the feet. The quickness, he going the complete wrong way. This was making its way into that upper corner. Second time we've seen a pretty good save out of the Fulham goalkeeper. There'll be more of that. Number 9 is in his old stadium. And he'd love to get a goal today.
Third corner kick for the MLS All-Stars. 74th minute. They're up 2-1. Driven across. Everybody up there. And that's deflected out of play. MLS All-Stars leading 2-1 versus Premiership side Fulham. Look at Jeff Cunningham, who's had a very good and long career in Major League Soccer. We're going to see another change. Brad Davis is going to come in and replace Taylor Twellman. Fulham's going to make a change too. Brad Davis having an exceptional year. Added on to the team when they had some injuries.
This is just pretty much a tactical move. Cunningham's going to go about as high as he can go, with Gomez playing just in behind him. Very similar to the way Twellman and Landon Donovan started the game, but this puts Brad Davis in his normal spot on that left wing. He's having a phenomenal season in San Jose. Just scored the game-winning goal in the Gold Cup in the penalty kick shootout against Honduras. Good to see him. Good to see him getting some recognition for some good play.
Ball Morte. Shari Joseph. Meanwhile, Legwinski has come on, replacing Zesh Raymond for Fulham. Here's Guerrero. Leading it. That's tackled out. Brad Davis. Holding. Guerrero. And the flag was up on the far side of the field. Wondering who's left in the MLS squad. Michael Parkhurst, the defender, and Scott Garlick, the backup goalkeeper, the only available subs that are left.
Well, this is where it gets a little difficult as a coach. At this point in the game, you want everybody to get in the game. And you know that Colin Clark wants his goalkeeper, Scott Garlick, to get some time on the field. Matt Reese has had a phenomenal game, and the back four is not something to mess with either. Vanny had a little trouble with Guerrero. If it would be anybody, it would be Conrad coming out of the game for Parkhurst, but we'll see what he does. But he'll get him on the field.
Played up now to Christian Gomez. Right side, O'Brien. MLS All-Stars leading Fulham on the Premiership 2-1. Shari Joseph holds. This in front of a sellout crowd here in Columbus Crew Stadium, and also being watched here on ABC Sports. Just a few minutes left. If you'd like to vote for today's Honda MVP, log on to MLSnet.com or ESPN.com and cast your vote. Remember, your vote is counting for 50% of the total. Right side, O'Brien floats it up there. Looked like he was looking for Brad Davis. They were teammates a year ago with FC Dallas, but now Davis is playing for San Jose.
Not a good cross at all. That was a great opportunity for the MLS All-Stars. Got to have better service from the wing, especially when you got that many people open.
Throw in coming up.
He's probably just as disappointed with himself as they are with him.
Tell you what, though, with Brad Davis coming into the game, you've got that extra element, being able to cross the ball from that left side. Throw in coming up far side of the field. Conrad to Shari Joseph, intercepted, and may have been handled by Malbranc. He's going to get called for the foul. MLS All-Stars putting it into play to Hayden. That's going to be an offside. Points leader and Indy 500 champ Dan Weldon and rookie sensation Danica Patrick head the field at the Firestone Indy 400 tomorrow, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on ABC Sports. Sat Knights, long ball, headed away. Conrad, Vanny to Hayden.
That's some pretty good defense there. Two guys that don't play together a lot. Getting out of that kind of spot, that's pretty impressive.
Nice moves there. Fulham attacking, and Reese got a piece. First corner for Fulham.
All right, Matt Reese is now officially showing off. made a little bit more out of that. That would be Matt Reese's style. This really wasn't the toughest shot in the world. As you can see, he just didn't get enough. It had to put up in the air because he had some legs in front of him, but there's a reason why Matt Reese has the least goals against average in the league. He's pretty amazing.
1.00. 79th minute here. Carlos Jensen throws it inside. Knotted down awkwardly, but Jensen's going to get it back. Floats it up there. Headed away. And then cleared by O'Brien. The first guy that got that was Jimmy Conrad, who I think has played a very strong game at the back for MLS. He's another guy that's trying to make a name for himself at the international level. Just chosen for the Gold Cup squad where he started several games. Cunningham tried to flick it on. Now the lead pass over the halfway line.
He's open.
Brad Davis controlling it. Guerrero makes the run on the left. Davis finds him, and Guerrero held up. I guess he thought he might have been offside.
That was a terrific run, actually, from Jeff Cunningham. He got himself in a spot. I think even Brad Davis was surprised that he had gotten that far that fast. If he would have seen him, he probably would have had a breakaway.
80th minute. MLS, the All-Star squad leading Fulham of the Premiership 2-1. Zat Knight in the middle. Played over by Legwinski. Ross Jensen. Back, he gets it from Malbranc. Late pass, Collins John. He's got the wheels. Looking up. Trying to play it back off a deflection. He'll cross it. And that hits side netting, but it's a corner kick. Second one for Fulham. Last touched by the MLS players. Someone close to that end line. Columbus has come out and supported this one. Tremendous results at the box office this week after a pretty slow start. But the fans here have responded, selling it out. Over 23,000. Hooked over into the middle. Reese is out. One hand on it. And that's cleared close to the halfway line.
That was a pretty good punch.
82nd minute. So 8 minutes and maybe some stoppage time. We'll see what happens the rest of the way as the MLS All-Stars try to protect this lead. Seal the deal, win the game. Hayter. MLS returns to television next week. ESPN 2, 6 Eastern next Saturday. Chivas USA meeting Clint Mathis, Jason Price, and Real Salt Lake. Mathis has been playing much better of late, scoring some goals for Real Salt Lake. Battle of the expansion teams next Saturday, 6 Eastern on ESPN 2. And of course, Chivas USA very soon will have about 4 new starters in their lineup. Not for next Saturday, but soon after.
They need it.
They do. The big guy supposed to be coming, though, is Francisco Palencia, longtime Mexican international. Holding along that far side, goes against Fulham. 2-1 MLS All-Stars leading Fulham. 83rd minute. Capping off a big week, really, in Major League Soccer. Chicago Fire, AC Milan in midweek. Milan won that game, but the Fire, if you ask anybody, with a better team that night, just didn't finish well. And then everyone watching on Thursday night, Chelsea and DC United, a 2-1 game. So MLS can hold their heads up high this week. It's a very big week, I think, in their history, fitting in the 10th year. Here's O'Brien. Cunningham is to his right. O'Brien holding. They ran out of a little gas there. Re-energizes and now collects it and plays it back. Well read there. Taken away from Shari Joseph. Collins John, the fresh legs out here now for Fulham, which could help. Lead pass. Right side shot way up high by Heider Helgeson. One of those second half subs for manager Chris Coleman.
It's a great pass. Get him right on stride. Great first touch. I just think he knows he could have done better with this. There's that first touch that means everything. Got himself lined up. Just unable to really get. You can see what happened. I think that touch just got a little squirrely on him and got a little bit outside of him. He wasn't able to keep the ball pretty much at his feet and get it low.
Meanwhile, Michael Parkhurst will come in, replacing Ronnie O'Brien. So all the field players have been used by MLS. And Parkhurst is another one of those guys. We talked about it before. New England and their scouting job. He was a 9th pick out of Wake Forest. but he's played in every minute of every game this year for the Revs and has played well. A lot of people felt he should have been named or voted to the All-Star team.
Frankie Hayduke just got the best news of the day is, I'm going to play behind you. Don't worry about coming back anymore. Well, at least as much as you normally would. And he gets to play midfield.
Parkhurst plays in the center of the defense normally with New England. He grew up as a Revs fan and apparently went to their first game when he was a 12-year-old. Now he's playing for them.
It's a great story.
Yeah, he's from the nearby Providence, Rhode Island area. Nearby to Foxborough, I should say. Here's Gomez, heading it forward. Cunningham, he's in, takes the shot, and a goal! Jeff Cunningham. He's back home.
Obviously, he went straight into the stands. I don't know where he is. Yeah. Where's he going? You can get away with that in an All-Star game.
Yeah.
You can't do that in a regular season game. But, you know, we talked a little bit about him and how much he wanted to score today. Great little touch there. Christian Gomez finding him. That's how you score in the back post. Find him early. Same kind of run Taylor Twellman made in the first half, but a better finish. You can see a great angle there. Off the post and in. Big smile.
He brought some energy to the game, and that was quite a celebration. No dance, but a jump into the crowd. Sort of like at a Green Bay Packers football game. We jump into the stands. Cleared away by Vanny, and that gives the MLS All-Stars a cushion that's very, very helpful to them. Now it's a 2-goal lead instead of the 1-goal game. So Jeff Cunningham, in his return to Columbus, gets the goal, 85th minute. That should seal it for the MLS All-Stars.
Yeah, I'm not trying to brag, JP, but didn't I write that down before the game?
Yes. The final score.
I'm bragging.
Not over yet.
That's it. I'm bragging. No, I think MLS will get one more. They're going to have one more chance for sure. I think it's opening up a little bit. Cunningham's going to get a shot.
Gomez looking. You can see, though, even though Fulham has changed players, the fatigue, they don't have the wheels to catch guys right now like Cunningham.
Well, it's another element as well. I think Brad Davis has got a phenomenal left foot. Watch for his crossing ability to factor into that as well.
Guerrero to Brad Davis on the left. Davis cutting, looks for Guerrero, wrong side, but he finds it. Ivan Guerrero holds. Being pressured back, he finds Shari Joseph. Davis, nice ball. So well done for the left corner flag. Guerrero, it's all about possession here. They don't need a goal. They may look for one, though. But that was so well orchestrated. Keep the ball away from Fulham. 88th minute. Goes out for a throw-in. And it's going to belong to the USA.
I think the All-Stars are having a little fun now. You can see the Fulham's tired. This is just not the position they wanted to be in. Down 2 goals, couple minutes to play. The most interesting thing to them right now is how much extra time there is. They don't want to be out there anymore.
Shari Joseph was held up there, and the foul was called on Helgeson. Let's go downstairs. Brandy Chastain.
Okay, the burning question of the day. Did you score that goal?
Well, if you ask me honestly, I think it hit me in the shin, to be honest, but it's a goal. Who cares who scores it, to be honest? But I felt it hit me, but, you know, if they're going to give it to Clint, all well and good, you know? We're winning the game at the moment. That's what we came out to do.
An exciting day today for you?
It's great, you know, you get to play with all good players. We get to play against a team that's not a part of our league, you know? It's not often some of us get to do that, so it's just a great day all in all.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy.
That was a politically correct answer, I think, by Ronnie O'Brien, who knows, Eric, that was his goal, but wants to be that team player. I think it hit me in the shins, to paraphrase. What a great player he's been for Major League Soccer. Here's Cunningham, poking it ahead. Good luck catching him. You won't. Cunningham shot. He's got his second goal.
can stop bragging. No, I'm wrong.
No, you got it. You said a fourth goal.
No, it's just a classic little finish here. You open it up as a forward, find that far corner. He didn't even really hit that well.
And you know what? While you're watching the replay, I saw they gave Cunningham a yellow card that time for that celebration as he whipped off the jersey.
Oh, who cares? Red card him. He's ready for a shower.
Meanwhile, Scott Garlick's going to come in and get a taste of some action, as well as another change. Ahmad Elra coming in. But how about Jeff Cunningham? All the talk was about Brian McBride's homecoming, but this turned out to be more of Jeff Cunningham's homecoming.
You hit it on the head, JP. And I think we got our MVP of the day. But you don't know because so many people voted before he even got on the field.
Correct.
So.
Don't know when the votes were cast. I mean, I would have picked Landon Donovan at the time he left the game, certainly.
Sure.
But Cunningham has changed the game.
And he often does, and it's unfortunate for Jeff that so many times he gets labeled as a great sub. It's like the worst two words a forward can ever hear. You're a great sub, but I'll tell you what, sorry, Jeff, you're a great sub. You're unbelievable.
That's an ABC. You got it. Matt Reese is coming out. So Scott Garlick can get a taste of some action here. Tell you what, Scott Garlick's had a great year too with FC Dallas, and I think he's one of the main reasons why they're in first place in the West.
Definitely.
So everybody.
You go back to his time, Scott Garlick and his time with DC, won a championship. He's a player that you got to have in your squad. And I think Colin Clark recognized that a long time ago and made Dallas a better team.
Garlick just came out, and that's it. Game over. MLS All-Stars beat Fulham 4-1. What a great day this was for MLS. Jeff Cunningham changed it around, Eric, but this was a game, even though it was close to 2-1, this was a game that you could say MLS deserved to win.
Well, I mean, this is what I thought would happen. I think people in America should expect this to happen. These are the best players in Major League Soccer playing against a pretty good team for the Premiership. I'm sorry, we're going to win that game. I think today, Cunningham showed his class. Landon showed, what a tremendous talent he is. There's Valenzuela, who had a simple game, played his role, got the ball to the players who were going to dribble and make passes. All of them, including that man, Taylor Twellman, who to me still is the best forward in the league. Showed some class in the first half and a little unlucky not to get a second.
Twellman scored the game's first goal. They gave Dempsey credit for the goal, but we still realize that it's Ronnie O'Brien's. They may or they may not change it, but that was the game winner. Regardless, the only goal that was scored by Fulham was scored by Klaus Jensen. Brian McBride's homecoming. He wore the captain's armband today for his squad, Fulham, but at the end of the day, it was his former Columbus Crew teammate, Jeff Cunningham. And Frankie Haydick, another member of the crew, enjoying his day. 90 minutes for him.